Coming up on the channel today, an artist I am extremely familiar with, so I'm probably just going to do a lot of agreeing during this video. We're going to have our friend Lauren join us and talk about 5 underrated songs from Weird Al Yankovic that you should check out, coming right up. Hey, it's Russ from the Infectious Groove podcast and YouTube channel, and we have with us today Lauren, who has her own music podcast, the Weird Al podcast, where they talk about 2 of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al. And with Weird Al, and I've done an in-depth look at his vinyl collection on the channel before, and one of the things I notice, because I'm a huge Weird Al fan, but I don't think I'm as in-depth of a Weird Al fan as you are, one thing that's irritating to me is that whenever Weird Al comes out with a new album, I feel like most people hear the parody, which is always the lead single, and then they just kind of bounce on the rest of his material. So Lauren is going to cover with us today 5 Weird Al underrated songs that you should check out. Kick off your list.
All right, first of all, I'm not talking about any parodies today.
These are all original Weird Al material.
Weird Al material, yeah.
Okay, shoot.
So the first one is from Weird Al's self-titled debut album in 1982, and it's one of my personal favorites, I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead.
Which is a very Weird Al title. I would assume most people know that original album for either Another One Rides the Bus or My Bologna. Or Ricky, yeah. So 3 parodies.
I Love Rocky Road.
Yeah, 4 parodies that were people well known off of that record. But what is the story on this original piece?
This is not even a style parody of anything. This is just straight up Weird Al being Weird Al, and it's pretty much like, I don't need to prove I'm cool, is the thesis of this song. It's just like, I'm gonna kick and jump and bite and scratch and scream until I'm blue. And I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna live that way as well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your first one. What else do you got for us?
The next one I have is a song that I think if you had asked me this question a year ago, this song would not have made my list, but Velvet Elvis from Even Worse in 1988 has been a huge song for me lately, and I recently got to see Weird Al on the unfortunate return of the ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised Vanity Tour. Which
is where that's all he's doing is original material on this tour. Okay, and he did that song?
He did Velvet Elvis, and I think I vibrated out of my seat when I heard this. I think I elbowed my brother so hard, I was like, it's Velvet Elvis! And Velvet Elvis is a spot-on style parody of Synchronicity-era Police. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
So if you're watching this and you're unfamiliar with things that Weird Al does outside of straight-up parodies, he does something which many people refer to as a style parody, where it's not a direct parody of a big, huge hit by a band, but he'll do a song that sounds just like everything that the band has ever released. Mm-hmm. And like you say, at that time, that sound that the Police had is what this song sounds like.
Yeah.
So we're up 2. We got 3 more to go. What do you got? What else you got?
I've got Midnight Star from In 3D in 1984. And if you've ever been in a checkout line and just look at those ridiculous tabloids, this is what that song is about.
All the ridiculous headlines.
Yeah, all the ridiculous headlines. He actually did this on the tour, too. So I'm touching on a lot of songs I've seen lately.
I do know this song vaguely, but this is not a style parody, is it? It's just a Weird Al original, wacky arrangement?
Pretty much. There are some sources that will say Bruce Springsteen, but I don't get that at all.
No, I don't think so. Don't listen to that song thinking you're going to hear a Springsteen-esque song. But that record, In 3D, is, again, known for... well, I would say most known for Eat It, which is, of course, a parody of Beat It, and then Brady Bunch, which was a parody of Safety Dance, and there's other parodies on there as well, but that original song, Midnight Star, is the one that you should go check out from In 3D. What else we got? We got 2 more to go?
2 more to go, and they're actually related, so I'm going to lump them together if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
Because I have a headcanon about these 2 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Dog Eat Dog from Polka Party in 1986, and Mission Statement from Mandatory Fun in 2014.
The last studio record?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're both about working in an office. Mm-hmm. And so Dog Eat Dog is a style parody of the Talking Heads, which is absolutely brilliant.
So, not to interrupt you, but we've talked about this on the channel before, in casually mentioning Weird Al, where he helped both of us and many other people get into a ton of different artists that we've never heard of before. And when Polka Party came out, I was, I think, 10, And I wasn't anywhere near educated enough in music to even know who David Byrne or the Talking Heads were. At the most, I might have heard Burning Down the House on like the top 40 countdown. So that, for me, that song fell completely flat when I got Polka Party. About 10 years later, someone played the album and that song came out, and I was like, how did I not know he did this killer style parody of the Talking Heads? And again, and actually, if you're watching this video and you go, they explained it, and I still don't know what style parody is. If you know the Talking Heads, listen to Dog Eat Dog by Weird Al, and that will give you an idea of what we mean when we say style parody.
Yeah.
It sounds like every Talking Head song you've ever heard, except it's completely different. And by the way, these parodies, nothing Weird Al does is meant to make fun of someone. They're always in tribute of. It's not to say, oh, the Talking Heads all sound the same. Oh, the Police all sound the same. It's very much in tribute of the style of those artists. So Dog Eat Dog from Polka Party was one, and then now Mandatory Fun is another style parody, though. I'm sorry, Mission Statement from Mandatory Fun is another style parody, too.
Yeah, mandatory. You got me saying Mandatory Fun instead of Mission Statement. The Mission Statement is a style parody of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Parentheses and Young.
Yeah, and sometimes Young.
Sometimes
and sometimes Why.
Oh, very good. This is, again, about working in an office, and it's, I would say if it were directly a style parody of anything they did, it's Sweet Judy Blue, right? And it's just full of completely nonsensical corporate jargon. To me, and we did not discuss this ahead of time, I'm going to throw this in a little bit. This, to me, is similar to the track by Nia Kondo, which I think is on in 3D. Yes.
Which the reggae Rastaman style could not be less about possessions, and the song by Nia Kondo from In 3D is all about worldly possessions and gaining things in stature. And Mission Statement is like if Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Sometimes Why didn't care about what they actually wrote about, which was Ohio and Sweet Judy Blue and songs of culture and matter, and then it's taking that and saying a ton of things these guys would never ever say, which is corporate jargon.
Corporate jargon. Yeah. So my headcanon on this is that the character in Dog Eat Dog, who just really liked working in an office and enjoying his coffee with a carcinogenic sweetener, he carried on in his career, and then somewhere in the mid-90s, he decided he was done with work, and that's where you get calling in sick from bad hair day. He was like, no, I'm done. Then he had some kind of an epiphany, and by the mid, 2010s, he's somehow, made it back up to the top of the corporate ladder, and he speaks only in jargon.
Yeah. Which is, now that is, and I'm not being funny with this, that is not any sort of official thing.
That's my head.
Your theory. Yes. Okay. No, because it's a great theory, but it's like, it makes me wonder if the artist himself had heard it, he'd be like, I didn't mean that, but yep. Sure, that sounds great. So now with this one, a lot of times Lauren will stop by and do 5 underrated artists, and I learned as much as you do in the video a lot of times and go, oh yeah, I do need to listen to that song. Now with these, I love all these songs, and I feel like if we were going to do an underrated Weird Al video properly, it would be called All of Them.
I was going to say,
Weird Al songs. I mean, it's just, the man's catalog is criminally underrated, in my opinion, for a guy who's as big of a star as he is, who everyone knows who he is, and yet people can only name a handful of songs, and there's so much good stuff out there. Don't roll your eyes, we're helping the people.
I know we're helping them.
Don't get frustrated,
we're
helping people.
I'm not.
So, and I also understand there's a whole faction of people that for Weird Al just go, I don't get it. Why? I don't understand why it exists. We want to hear from you too. Don't be mean about it, but leave comments and say, hey, I even listen to these songs and I still don't get it. But for those of you who are Weird Al fans, if you have heard those handful of parodies or whatever else, check out the songs that we're talking about and see what you think. There could be a whole new world of those style parodies you've never heard of that, you automatically are like, whoa, there's a lot more here for me to check out. Also, this from the realm of shameless plugs, Lauren does have her own music podcast that's completely separate from my show, the Infectious Group Podcast. The Beard Al Podcast, they talk not only about beer, but also about Weird Al. So there's always a link in the description for that if you want to subscribe to her show. You guys have a new episode every Friday. Every single Friday. Sometimes the Infectious Group Podcast takes breaks every couple of months for a couple of weeks. Oh no, not Lauren. Lauren's got an episode for you every single Friday covering both beer and Weird Al. If this is your first time on the channel, we would appreciate it if you would go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We have 2 videos every week, all about different types of music. If you like anything we said or did in this video, hit the thumbs up button because that helps us grow. But like I touched on right at the end of her list, what matters to us more than anything is the comment section. So even if you don't like Weird Al, leave a comment. If you love Weird Al and you haven't heard these songs, leave a comment. If you're totally indifferent to Weird Al and would like to, if you're Al curious, then go listen to the songs that we listed off and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of them. No matter what, we always say in these videos, and we very much mean it, thank you so much for watching.